So first of all, I am really, really grateful. I'm someone who always practice gratitude, even if I get a little bit, uh, I would say, little problem in the morning, and if it gets resolved by the evening, I'm grateful for that too, because we face that on a daily basis in our life. Nobody is free of problems and stress and all that. These days, these have become, what do we say, the jargons that we use in everyday's life. Also, I see younger kids also. I'm very stressed. When we were growing up, I don't remember our parents were using the word stress a lot, but it's just from us only. The kids are learning. So I'm very grateful to Almighty for being here. And as sister told, that just by entering the campus, I could feel the vibrations and all that. And that's what all we live about, the vibes, vibrations. That's what we call vibes. Today, I mean, I'm not here to give you too much of scientific gyan and very deep knowledge and all that. We'll just share a little bit about nutrition and how it affects, or what is really matter, very small things. It's not, when you in general talk to athletes, our athletes are also not that educated. I mean, some of them come from very humble background, especially when they are starting. So many times we have to go to their level. I have faced that challenge. When I moved to India, I thought, okay, I'm just going to teach this and that. And when I realized that no, I cannot expect them to come to my level and understand there, so I went to their level and started from the basics. I had to change my attitude to to fit into their life and all that. With that, I mean, we study a lot of psychology because food is related to that. इमोशंस आर रिलेटेड टू फूड. अगर हम गुस्सा है तो खाने पे निकाल देंगे, बहुत खुश है तो खाना ज़्यादा खा लेंगे. एंड आई जनरली टेल वेर एवर आई गो कि हमारे यहाँ पे इट इज़ फूड इज़ वेरी मच इन टू आवर कल्चर. So in our families, if you see all over India, if a baby is born, we invite our community, for feast. इफ देर इज अ डेथ इन द फैमिली, जब चौथा करते हैं, तेरहवीं करते, तब भी हम कम्युनिटी को बुलाते हैं. तो हमारा सैडनेस, हमारा हैप्पीनेस, वी आर वेरी मच कनेक्टेड विथ like food. So that is emotion you have with food. Now when it comes to athletes, they also go through daily emotions. कभी खुश है, कभी कोच ने डांट दिया तो बहुत दुखी है. तो अगर वो खाने के ऊपर अपना स्ट्रेस निकालने लग जाएंगे तो अगले दिन का ट्रेनिंग नहीं कर पाएंगे. So there are very simple things that I'll talk about. Along with that, I'll talk about few experience that I had with athletes, which in general we talk about science. Nutrition is पूरा science है. Opinion नहीं है कि आज मैंने सोचा कल जाके कुछ सिखा देती हूँ, वो करने से उनका परफॉर्मेंस बढ़ जाएगा. It is all pure science. But we have, like, I personally have seen many athletes defying the science also. I have seen they were winning even after not following what, and I mean, I am very honest about that. So it's about human will. Many a times which actually works over the science also. So I'll share some of the examples with you, but let's first, is the control from there? So I need to point there or here. Okay. All right. So first thing, very easy, we need to know the process. This bucket is our body. What fills it is sleep, nutrition, and recovery. I'm talking in terms of anybody who goes for regular exercise, anybody who's training in sports. So sleep is the first thing. If your brain is not relaxed, if your mind is not aligned with your body is not going to be working the next day very fine. So sleep is very important. Then we fill up our body with good nutrition, and that's what helps us to get proper recovery. Every athlete, when they are training, they need to recover really well in order to train again the next day. Generally, our athletes are training 4 to 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, I'll say. 4 hours hardly. 5 to 6 hours they are training, and sometimes it's killer workout for them. So our body, I just tell everybody that we just consider it bucket. More we fill, better it is, because there is a tap that drains all our energy down. That is one thing, is training, and training itself is a stress on body. if not on mind. Of course, they are stressful, our performance will be like this and that, but then it is a stressor for the body when you push your body to train to a further level. So for that we need proper sleep and nutrition. Then work or school. So not only athlete, there are some athletes who are working, there are some athletes who go to, the younger athletes who go to school, but this fits on us also. We go to work every day. If we don't eat properly, we don't sleep properly, it takes a toll on our health also. And then the stress. So again, stress is in the air. If you see a lot these days, even they say sun rays can cause this and this. So even Surya Bhagwan, दे कंसिडर्ड एज अ सोर्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस, कि उससे कैंसर हो सकता है, स्किन में ये हो सकता है वो। तो हमारा एनवायरमेंट में देर इज स्ट्रेस, दे जस्ट से फ्री रेडिकल्स आर एवरीवेयर एंड यू नीड टू बी अवेयर ऑफ दैट. So these are the drainers that drains our energy out, but then we need to keep the bucket full by filling it every day with good sleep, with good nutrition and the recovery. Can you move it from your end? It's okay.
Previous, next.
Yeah, it's not coming. I was trying that only. So anyways, till then I'll just share with one of the experience which I generally which was a wonderful thing for us to see, that no matter how much training and all that you do, you eat good and all that, but if your goal is set, you can achieve anything. Anything is possible for that matter. So in 2016, there were in Mumbai there is a marathon, which is also a qualifier for Olympics. Every year in January that marathon happens. I was working with Army Sports Institute, their Mission Olympic wing, in Pune at that time. So we were training those marathoners, diet and everything. And generally in marathon, what happens, we send pacers who give the pace to marathoners, so they don't have to look at their pace every time. As they are nearing their finish line and all, the pacer goes to the side, and then the marathoners, they keep running. So up to certain kilometers the pacer is just giving them pace to move forward. So we sent four people we sent there. There were a couple of pacers. One pacer kept running and giving the pace and all that. Then he turned to see where is the follower, the main marathoner is coming. He saw that there is no one behind him. So this pacer so he said, let me just finish the race only. He said they will just come and all that. And this guy topped that and he qualified for Olympics. He was just a pacer. He was not supposed to be there going to Olympics. He just thought there is nobody, मैं complete कर लेता हूँ पूरा 40. He was supposed to go away at 36 kilometer. पूरा 42 kilometer run करके with best time he qualified for the Olympics. So this is something, it was just his will. He could have gone away because he has done his job at 36 kilometer, but he thought थोड़ा और दौड़ लेते हैं, देखते हैं कि क्या होता है. And that was something very wonderful. I do talk to those athletes a lot कि आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था. So he said, मैडम पीछे देखा कोई नहीं आ रहा था, मैंने सोचा ट्राई कर लेता हूँ, रेस फिनिश अभी शक्ति तो लग रही है बॉडी में, कर लेते हैं. So it was his mind that actually pushed him to win race. He wasn't following diet according to the full marathon. So those are little things that many times say that when your mind is aligned with what you are doing, when you are in present, you are thinking let's just do it. So that can take you much further than what you are actually trying to achieve. So for nutrient training, I again will not go into what is carbohydrate made of and all that, because that's pretty much easy knowledge available anywhere that you want. But simply put, it is just we divide food in these parts. One is for the fueling. If you want your car to run good, you need to put good fuel. I generally talk to athletes in terms of cars because उनको cars या अच्छा bike का example समझ में आता है. So I generally tell them, if you want to drive a Mercedes and you're putting kerosene in it, the Mercedes is not going to run. The engine of Mercedes is. So if you want to be an elite athlete, you want to be in an excellence group, then you have to fuel your body accordingly. You have to fuel your machine accordingly. Then comes food for building. So when for fueling, we just really rely on Indian food, which is like very rich in carbohydrate. तो हमारे लिए वो problem ही नहीं है. When I was working in the US, That time I had to tell the athletes that you need to have more carbohydrates, eat more rice and more fruits and all that. But in India, east, west, north, south, we are either eating rice or we are eating chapatis or stuff made of that. So that is never a problem for us in India, fueling right. Then comes food for building, which at times is the issue because our diets are usually a little low in protein. Now coming back to, I am a big follower of traditional Indian diet. When we had thali system, we had rice, we had chapati, we had dal, sabzi, and different kind of chutneys, which actually brings in the antioxidant. The tomato chutney, the green chutney, and all that, they are source of antioxidants for our body. And even the peanut chutney brings in good fat and some protein. Then we always had either curd or buttermilk with our diet, which makes it a complete diet. Then some salad and cooked vegetable, so perfect meal. But the problem these days is we are not cooking that kind of food, so many things, because we are always on a rush. More and more people are working outside home. The person like father and the mother, everybody, they, most of them are working, and the kids are also busy, they don't have time to sit and eat the whole thali wala portion. So we are just into quick, either it will be khichdi or just dal chawal and all that. So since we are going away from our traditional diet, that's where we are seeing more problems with the balanced nutrition. I mean, forget about the sports nutrition. The common population is also not getting good nutrition. Only reason is because we are always on a rush. We don't have time to cook properly, we don't have time to sit and eat properly. So this is one thing. But then again, when it comes to building the body, we need the protein, and which is available in very simple forms. If we eat rajma and chanas and sprouts, which is very good source, and almonds and walnuts, which is again very much part of our Indian diet also. So that ways. And many a times I get a question asked, especially when I was in the US. I'm vegetarian. So wahan pe, I'm talking about year 2001, 2002, long back. So when we would talk to doctor for about anything, they would say, how do you get your protein? You're not eating, fish and chicken and all this and that. So then, I used to take the book that I read, we studied in our masters. And I told her, see, even chapati has protein, even rice has protein, but that's not enough. So I told them, no, I'm nutritionist, I can calculate. So the problem that is there, that we just think that protein can come only from the non-veg sources. It's not like that. There are lots of vegetarian sources. Soybean is the excellent source of, and it's complete protein. It can, you can compare it with egg. It has all the amino acids and all that, but the problem is it doesn't taste good. So that's where it comes in. Even with our athletes, they go by taste. Like I said, we are emotionally connected to food. So when the athletes come to the training full time, they say, because I don't like it. So I just tell them, tomorrow if you don't like a coach, are you going to say that to coach, coach, you go away, I don't like you? So they can't. So that way I tell them, just take food with discipline, because it is going to help you with your practice. So we generally don't say it. I teach all my athletes that there is no food that you're supposed to call bad, because food is there to be eaten. Even if you are sugar generally is considered bad, but if an athlete is eating it after exercise, it is going to provide him or her that energy. So I generally myself, I also don't call any food bad, as long as it is giving me some energy, it is energizing my body, it is given by God on my plate, so I am going to eat it. It's not bad. So the same thing I also teach my athletes, that please don't call food bad, because it is something which is meant to nourish you in whichever way. Food can be good and not so good. It can be like, if you have to choose between five goons, one can be a very bad person, one can be very cruel, other one can be less cruel. So that is the example I generally tell them, just choose which one is the best for you, but don't call any food bad. So in that term, yes, there are lots of sources for protein in Indian diet, in vegetarian diet. It's just that you have to be more disciplined to follow that. The non-veg source are easily available, since they have lots of fat, it tastes good. So generally athletes will come, no, we don't want to try this and that. Or there are times when the athletes come and tell that everyone is asking us to start eating the non-vegetarian food, because they say you cannot train without it. So nutrition is still a science, that most of the things are followed from the West. in India, the sports nutrition is seeing the light now. I think 3 4 years, I would say, it has started to come in the mainstream. Otherwise, it was somewhere, just not even, if we talk about a bus, it was somewhere hanging behind the bus on that ladder. So that's what sports nutrition was. At least when I started working in India 2011, that's where I saw I had to fight my ways up, because they said we know it all. And I said, yes, you know it all, but if you can listen to us, maybe we can just add 1 cent or 2 cent or 3 cent, like that. Moving forward, then comes food for protecting. As I said, sports training itself is a stress on the body, on your muscles, also on your brain. And because the athletes go through a lot, not only physically, but then either they left their families to come to a training center, they have peer pressure, they have pressure of performance. Sometimes there are bias from the coaches, they like other athlete better, or there are some bias from the seniors. So I have worked with athletes as young as 9 years to veteran athletes also, who are still running their marathon and all that at the age of mid 40s. But then when we talk about competitive athletes, it's all age group, but especially our teenage athletes go through a lot of stress. I was dealing with an athlete just about a year and a half back, who was in the depression and nobody could figure it out. The coaches were thinking there is something wrong going on with this boy. He stopped picking up the phone from the coach, he stopped showing up to the ground. So that kind of stress our athletes actually go to. I am a neutral person. When I go to work with any organization, I'm very neutral person. So when I reach out to talk to someone, they can confide, because they know I'm not going to tell their words here and there, I'm not going to spread anything about them. So I talked to that athlete, that the coach only actually requested, ma'am, can you speak to him, because he's not talking to us. So when I talked to him, my heart kind of really was hurting, because that he is a 18 years old boy going through a lot, because he wanted to take care of his parents back home. He wanted to perform good also, but then one coach was telling that I need the credit, other coach was telling that I need the credit, and he was just getting stuck in all that. And in all that, he stopped coming to the mess also. He would just order something, eat in his room. So we had to take him in confidence. I said, say, if you don't eat, you can never run. So first thing is, I will meet you in the mess, let's just sit and eat together. And then you don't want to train, that's fine. But so that is the kind of stress, not only the physical stress our athletes go through, but there is lots of mental stress also they have to deal with. So there are certain foods which, we generally tell them to, you need to eat rainbow. It's like fruits and vegetables of different color. Put it on your plate every day, and then start eating that, because those are the source of antioxidant. So different colors of fruits and vegetable. And India, wonderfully, almost all the regions in India, we have our local food, local fruits and all, seasonal fruit growing in and all that. So that I tell them to put on their plate. Another thing with the Western influence, a lot of them want to spend money in foreign food, in terms of, like, we want to eat certain berries, we want to eat only kiwis, and we want to have broccoli and all that. So again, as I said, I would say, like, vocal for local. I really believe in what India is producing. So there is a berry called jamun. I'm not sure if you all are aware of the purple color berry, which colors your tongue purple. That is a berry, it's not found in US. I used to crave for that, and it is a wonderful, wonderful antioxidant. Even it's the pit which is inside has a very good effect. You dry it and you start consuming it, it has good effect on diabetes and all that. So I tell them that there is no need to run for a foreign food. First of all, that whatever is not native to India is not going to give you complete nutrient, even if you are growing it here. Another thing is, if you are importing it from another country, just think how many days it is just there in the transit, versus you are getting something which was just harvested a couple of days back and now it is in the market. So those are the another good fruit is there, and very much overlooked is, oh, thank you, you were showing us the picture of berries, thank you so much. So this is the jamun. It's mouth watering actually, looking at it, because I craved for this food 10 years. Whenever I used to come in India, April, May and all that time, jamuns don't come in. So I used to just go, thinking back, and we don't get frozen and all that kind of fruit. So thanks a lot for putting this picture on. So another fruit which is very overlooked, or I will say neglected, or I generally feel really bad for this fruit, which is guava. Guava is very, very good source of fibers, minerals, and vitamins, and of course it has lots of vitamin C, which is antioxidant. So leaving that lovely guava, we run after the kiwi because it comes from foreign. So I tell the athletes, kiwi doesn't has anything which Indian fruits can't give you. You try orange, you try guava with it, you try combination of fruits, and you have the nutrients that you need from the foreign food. So this is something, again, staying with you within Indian context, eating the Indian food, only thing with it is we need planning, and we need lot of awareness, which generally our athletes are missing, because in India generally, what happens, even our neighbors know nutrition. Like my dadi, nani, my grandparents, they would know nutrition. So everyone says what we are saying, you need to do that. So nutrition is something we have to bust lots of myths on everyday basis, because the athletes will come in and they said, मेरे पड़ोसी ने बोला था ये खा लेगा तो बहुत तेज रन करेगा. Now they don't understand what is going to provide them fuel and all that. The last point here is water for hydrating. So it is a sad situation that not only athletes, but by and large, I think 80% of India is dehydrated. Because how many of us travel with water bottles? See, very few, not even 50%. So we are overall dehydrated. Reason is, another reason for it, for long time we didn't used to have clean washrooms. For that reason we won't drink water. So but now the government is also providing lots of good facility and all that. So I just, anywhere, hydration is something, even if you wake me up in the night and tell me, I can talk 2 hours. That's how much I have seen India getting dehydrated, that I can talk on hydration anywhere and anytime. So dehydration is one thing which affects not only your body but your mind too, because your brain, a large part of your brain is made up of water. So if for a long time, I'm talking about a rare situation, for a long time, if somebody is critically dehydrated, your brain starts to shrink. But that happens in critical cases. But in general, all over India, I see people, just not bothering about water. We can drink more tea than water. So, and that is tea. Too much of tea can be diuretic, so it takes further the water out from our body. So this is something, it's not only for athletes, for all of you, I request, if we meet again the next time, please come with a small water bottle. All right, sorry. So general, if you must have read that 8 glasses of water or 2 liters of water, that is very average. Okay. Water intake depends on lots of things. It depends on your sweat rate, that is the first thing, and height and weight. What happens if a person is short and thin, their skin surface is less. So obviously their water loss or their sweat loss is going to be less, because skin surface is less. So if a person is taller and bigger built, their skin surface is more, they are going to sweat more, so they need to drink more than 2 liters of water. So it depends like that. And believe me, and of course another thing is, if you go today and tomorrow you start drinking more water, you will have to run to washrooms little more frequently. But take my words, your body adjusts to that. Give your body some time to adjust. Don't, people get scared now, I can't go to washroom over and over, so I'm not going to continue to drink water. Give your time to adjust, body time to adjust. It takes around 8 to 12 or 15 days, and your body will adjust. You will not have to run to washroom so often. So just because of that fear, don't stop drinking water. I can just talk about myself. I'm very short, I'm petite, but I drink around 2.5 liter water, because I have figured out my requirement of water. If I don't drink that, my brain starts telling me there is something missing. Your body gets tuned to it, and your body has its way to send signals. The funny part here is, one symptom of dehydration is you start feeling little headache, you start feeling tired, and what do? We drink tea. When we are tired and we have headache, चाय पी लेते हैं. तो चाय इज हर चीज का इलाज हमारे यहाँ पे, which is not the right thing. You need to drink water when you are thirsty. then your brain is telling, buddy, go drink water, you're thirsty. That means you're already dehydrated. So then don't let your brain work too much. Just drink water. I'm very happy some people have picked up their bottle and drinking. So yes, something is working here. Next time if we ever meet, I would like to see you all with the water bottles. So, and the same is the case with the athletes, and for them it is very counterproductive. If they are not drinking adequate water, dehydration can cause very so many negative impact on their performance. Food for mental health. I mean, I just want to relate this with the talk. Our emotions, feelings, and mood total has an impact on the mental health. And of course, as I said, in India, all over, we are emotionally connected with food. गुस्सा आया तो खाने पे निकालना है, खुश है तो खाना खा के उसको सेलिब्रेट करना है. So that's why it is very important. Eating for mental well-being is an important part to total wellness. So as you said, as they say, you are what you eat, physically and mentally as well. It's not only that your body is going to thank you when you eat good. Your brain is also going to help you. Here are a couple of scenarios. One is for physical health. What we eat, it can actually either make you obese or diabetic, or you can have your coronary heart diseases and all that. Food can keep you from that if you're eating good, and food can push you to that. When it comes to mental health, what we eat is, if you're not eating too good, you can go into depression. Of course, ADHD and Alzheimer's, it's not something that is caused by food, but that the symptoms can be eased with food. There are food which are anti-inflammatory. There are lots of research going on where with Alzheimer's also, and our excellent Indian ingredient, curcumin, that is turmeric. It is proven to be really really good for Alzheimer patient. ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. In that also they have found certain food can actually aggravate the symptoms. So people like to, I will not go that much into the clinical detail of that, but then mental health, and these are well proven areas of depression. There are certain food which can help, I mean in general with stress also, and I can tell you to try, because we all go through stress every now and then. So when you are stressed, just take a orange if it is available. Okay, peel it, eat the slices of orange, and smell the peel for some time, and you see how you're just inhale deep. When you're smelling it, it has a mood boosting effect. And it is again that anything citrus, or you can just cut a lime and you smell that, it has a very good effect. Another thing is dalchini, cinnamon, that has very good impact. Kali mirch, all the Indian spices. But we just keep waiting for some foreigners to do research and then tell us ki haldi acha hai health ke liye. So this is the problem. We are not using our own we have so many antioxidants. This tulsi and that chutney culture of India is excellent. We make chutneys with all the available antioxidants possible, so which is really a good thing if we go back to our roots. And I mean, so many ingredients I can name. Kadi patta, which is in general, but we don't like the taste. Generally people keep it away. I tell them chew it and swallow it. This is really good for your health. Even for that matter, hari mirch is good. It is very high source of vitamin C. So these are few things where food and mental health can be related. Walnuts, almonds, they have very good effect on your brain. Carrot, and I will talk a bit about that in tomorrow's session too. So those things have a very good effect on your brain. They have brain calming effect. So, and which is well proven by science. It's not like I thought कि आज मैं जाके brain calming की बात करूंगी. I have read it all in the scientific researches. Moving on, simple reminders to make nutrition planning easier. We need to take time out to think about nutrition goals. If you deal with active population, for yourself also, see, I'm pretty sure many of us just don't sit कि मेरा nutrition goal क्या होना चाहिए. नहीं होता, because we are so running with life that we don't have time to think about like आज ये 10 काम पूरे करने हैं, उसमें nutrition कहीं भी mention नहीं होगा कि आज अच्छे से healthy खाना खाना है. So we need to make that priority. Then comes water intake should be the priority. So I hope now onwards, you and whoever you meet, please spread the word around that did you have adequate water today? Just simple thing like that. The aim should be to eat healthy food as and when possible. I mean, I don't push people that you just keep thinking healthy food, because that goes to another extreme. Whatever healthy food is available easily, just go with that. It should not be something, because then, for some people healthy food becomes the reason for stress. आज healthy food नहीं खाने को मिला. And that is, now in recent times we are seeing that is, for some people, is becoming an obsession. We will eat only organic. So earlier it was in the foreign culture. Now I see a lot of that in India, and many a times people just won't eat because the organic food is not available. I have seen certain people like that too. Then read labels. Anything that says it is natural, all natural, or low fat and all that doesn't mean it is good. All natural means, yes, it can be, a powder of a fruit or a vegetable or some leaves and all that, but they do add colors to that, they do add, preservatives to that. So if it says all natural, please just, don't go by it. So read labels. Wherever it says other ingredients, this color added, that color added, that means. So for that matter, many people like to eat brown bread. When you read the label of most, I'm not saying all, but most of the brown bread, if you read the label, it says caramel and brown color. So it's made brown with the color, not the ingredient. So that's why reading label is very important. Nutrition planning is important. When you go to buy your grocery, please take the list along. वो लिस्ट का ही बाय करके वापस आ जाने का, इधर उधर नहीं, ये डील पर है, वो डील पर है. जनरली you will not find walnuts ever on deal, और वेरी रेयरली यू विल फाइंड. जो अखरोट होता है वो डील पे नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो हेल्दी फूड है, महंगा है. वो यू जनरली, जो जंक होता है वो डील पे होता है, बाय वन गेट वन फ्री. चिप्स आपको डील पे मिलेगा, आपको कोक डील पे. दैट्स हाउ आवर कल्चर हैज बिकम. सो जस्ट अपना प्रिपेयर करिए लिस्ट, पूरा हफ्ते का या महीने का जो ग्रोसरी खरीदना है उतना ही खरीदना है. बी डिसिप्लिन्ड अबाउट दैट एंड कम बैक एंड ईट दैट फूड ओनली. Do not fall for fat diet these days because of social media and the influencer and all that. I'm not against anybody, they are all doing their job to earn money and whatever else, but then फैट डाइट्स आर नॉट मीन. हम उसको फैट डाइट इसलिए बोलते हैं कि वो ज्यादा लंबे समय तक चलता नहीं है, वो फेड अवे हो जाता है. सो दैट्स व्हाई अगेन आई से दैट जस्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू योर लाइफ स्टाइल वॉट वर्क्स, दैट ओनली इज गोइंग टू वर्क फॉर यू. किसी और का लाइफ स्टाइल में कोई और चीज करके उनका एक्सीलेंट परफॉर्मेंस हो गया या हेल्थ बहुत अच्छा हो गया, that doesn't. Nutrition is a customized plan, it is an individualized system. Your body can absorb and digest certain food in a different manner as compared to someone else. So that's why it is something that we need to be aware of. Rather than feeling guilty about unhealthy eating, make plan on how to get over it. There are some people who just, यार कल बहुत खराब खाना खा लिया, अब ठीक है, जो हो गया आज भी खा लेते हैं, right? So we need to think, yes, if you went out somewhere, you are with people, or there was no good food available for healthy food, it's okay. Forgive yourself and then plan now how you can prepare for the next time. If you are out and you don't eat, or if you have taken in so many calories, just think about how to burn it. If you're going to exercise for 30 minutes, the next day you go for 45 minutes. Just do something to burn it off. If you don't live in that guilt, because guilt is not good for the brain. So that is something we need to remember. So to make it easy, this is what we show to all our athletes. Eat to compete. This is generally a sample a plate that we show them. They need to have loads of vegetables and fruits. So half of the plate should be filled with fruits and vegetables. That's where our rainbows stay. And those are, I just tell them, more fresh you eat, fresher you will feel. Your brain works on lots of antioxidants, lots of vitamins and minerals. Then come the grains and protein. So protein can be in any form, it can, but it has to be mixed. For Indian diet, protein has to be mixed. And again telling you, generally people say plant protein or Indian protein is not a complete protein. I agree with that. Rice is not a complete protein, dal is not complete, but when we mix it, it becomes complete. And again, going back to our roots, everywhere in India you go, either we eat our dal with chapati or we eat it with rice. So I mean, in ancient time also, I'm so thankful to what they thought about mixing it. We make dosa and idli with mix of dal and rice. So this is the excellent way to explain how our in the ancient time people had that knowledge. with whatever reason they started doing it. But our diet is like khichdi, we make it with dal and rice. Rajma we eat with rice. Even puris and parathas and all that, generally we'll make either some chutney with peanuts and all that. So we make sure that rice or dal go together, or chapati and dal, rajma, chole. So in Indian traditional vegetarian diet, you need to mix the ingredients to make it a complete protein. And then there is no way that you cannot get all the amino acid. It's just that it needs little more planning. And yeah, so we need to do it in combination. So whenever we make rice, either eat it with dal or chawal, eat it with dal. So just the combination of food has. Sorry. If we eat it twice or thrice a day. So if in breakfast you're having idlis or doshas, and in both your meal you're having rice and dal or rajma chole, like that, that will be adequate for the normal population. But when it comes to athletes, the quantities have to be more. And for athletes, we need to add, if you see that dairy in the side. So in Indian diet, always it used to be milk in the morning in breakfast and curd in the afternoon. But sadly, now we are not following that because we are just so busy to eat too much. But then the dairy has to be there too. For athletes, only thing we do is we increase the portions, and we just make sure that their eating timings are disciplined, because for them it matters more what they eat before their training and what they eat after their training. And then recovery is simple like that: eat, sleep, train, and repeat. Without eating, you cannot run. So, eating is the must, and good eating is, a priority for any athlete for that matter. And then discipline. Generally, athletes, when they have discipline to wake up and sleep and all that, they need to have discipline to sleep too. So, generally, we tell them to, eat on schedule and rest on schedule. And that comes only if they have the willpower to achieve what they want. There are many athletes who come in sport because the others are in the sport, or their sibling was in the sport, or their neighbor was in the sport, so they just come in the sport. There are some parents who push their kids in sport, and if they don't like it, they will just not do whatever you tell. So it's only the athletes who are very sincere. We tell them you need to be disciplined about eating also, because not only your physical performance, your mental performance, your brain, because to align that brain and body, if you don't have food which is going to calm your brain, or which is actually going to relax you, at the night, sleep, help you sleep better, recover your muscles and all that, then you're not going to be able to perform tomorrow. So if we have to get a horse up and running, we need to give the horse a proper feed. It's not like that we just keep riding the horse every day, and then we are not taking care of horses rest. And I mean, I don't know if you have ever seen, I work with equestrians also. So we just see how well taken care of those horses are there. There are certain medicines, there are certain supplements for horses which actually treats them really well. And I see when the riders go on horse, even the little kids, what kind of bonding they have with horse. They go first, they feed the horse with their head. That's the first stage when any rider comes to train with horses. That's the first stage. They need to pat the horse, they need to start feeding them with their hands. So that's where it all starts. You build the connection with food. So the same thing with human also, we build the connection with our training, only we have when we have proper food. So that's all for my talk today. And I'm not sure if we have time. I can discuss if you want to discuss anything. But thanks a lot for listening to me. Thank you.